morning, students. It's December 1st on your KSAC News. The ancient Church of the Nativity, built over the cave that is traditionally known as the birthplace of Jesus in the West Bank town of Bethlehem, will finally get the long overdue repairs that has been hindered by the denominational rivalry between the Roman Catholic, Greek Orthodox, and Armenian Orthodox over the structure's ownership.
What's the craziest shopping day of the year, you may ask? Well, it's Black Friday. With stores opening before dawn and the incredible discounts that are offered, no one could possibly resist the savings. U.S. retailers racked up a record of $52.4 billion in sales over the Thanksgiving weekend. People even went so far as to attacking other shoppers with pepper spray. Matthew Lopez, a regular consumer, went to Walmart in Porter Ranch on Thursday night for the Black Friday sale, only to be caught in a pepper spray attack by a woman who authorities say was a competitive shopper.
Wow, it's crazy what some people will do to get what they want for Christmas.
Wow. According to the Associated Press, if you were to buy every item mentioned in the famous Christmas song, The 12 Days of Christmas, that would set you back over $101,000. This is due to an increase in the cost of partridges, pear trees, and turtle doves. But on the bright side, if you would like to surprise your date to banquet with 5 golden rings, the price has been reduced from last year's $650 to only $645. Not a huge savings, but a reduction nonetheless. Thanks for listening, and over to Kendra Moreland with your KSAC Weather Report.
Good morning, students. This is Kendra Moreland with your KSAC Weather Report. It has been really chilly this week, but for the rest of this week and on into next week, it is going to warm up just a tad. For today, the high is 74 and the low is 56. And for you soccer players, this weekend there are going to be chances of rain with highs as high as 72 and lows as low as 46. So be sure to dress to stay warm at your games. This has been your Weather Report. Now on to Amanda with the sports.
Hey everybody, it's Amanda Henderson with your KSAC Sports Report. Friday we have the varsity girls soccer team playing at St. Andrews, and that game will start at 5:30. Saturday we have the varsity girls and boys soccer team playing at TMI, with the girls playing at 3 and the guys playing at 5. Saturday we will have the freshman and JV boys basketball team playing in their Wimberley tournament, as well as the varsity wrestling team playing in their Churchill tournament. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we have the boys varsity basketball team playing in their South Sand tournament. So make sure you go out and support your Ksac Lions in any sport that you may feel good with. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been Amanda Henderson with your KSAC Sports Report. Now on to what's new.
Poem called I Don't Know Tomorrow. Today I win the Nobel Prize. Tomorrow I may be sterilized. Trying to grasp health is unlikely in a blight. Even keeping a hairstyle is impossible in flight. As the disaster fades, I'm left alone. Could I be living in the shadows? Or am I just a clone? Maybe I'm an ant searching for my colony. A wolf straying from the pack. I am vulnerable to any attack.
What's new this week? Poetry and Jazz Club, otherwise known as P&J. They meet every Tuesday and Thursday in Portable M2, Miss Kreiner's room.
I've been digging in the crates ever since I was living in space, before the rat race, before monkeys had human traits. I mastered neurology and cannabis theology, performed lobotomies with telekinetic psychology, invented the mic so I could start blessing it. Chin-checking kids, I made my point like an impressionist. Many made up try to shake us, but I twist my chords in double helixes and show them what I'm made of.
Voila! In view, humble vaudevillian veteran cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage nommé Venera Vanity is a vestige of the vox populi now vacant vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vouched to vanquish this venal and virulent vermin regarding bites and vouchsafing the violently vicious, voracious violation of volition.
The selection is You May Forget But by Sappho. You may forget but, let me tell you this, someone in some future time will think of us.
Hey everyone, this is Caitlin Vanderberry
And Haley Carroll.
with What's New. Right now we're outside M2, the Poetry and Jazz Club Portable, with President Raul Membrado and
Treasurer Lauren Espy. Now, Earl, how did you get this started?
Well, last year, actually it started in November. I just had, like my grandfather, he has a lot of poetry and he performs it, so I thought it'd be a good idea to mix in jazz with poetry, and it's been turning out great. So.
And Lauren, tell me a little bit about what you do as treasurer and your involvement in Poetry Club.
Okay, as treasurer, we have a lot amount of money, and my job is to use the money to plan field trips, t-shirts, like extra any equipment we need for the poetry and jazz, to just kind of like make it better. But basically, this year we're using most of the money for field trips and t-shirts.
That's awesome. Now, do you actually participate in the poetry, or are you just there for support?
Mainly support. I can't rhyme or play an instrument, so I just sit there and enjoy everyone else.
That's awesome. Now, girls, if y'all are out there and you are interested in this, please stop by. Everyone is welcome, but we really need a female perspective on the literature. So go ahead and stop by. It's every Tuesday and Thursday. This has been Caitlin Vanderberry
And Haley Carroll
with What's New. Now over to Maitland with your random fact.
And now it's time for your random fact of the day. Did you know that according to data analyzed from Facebook posts, 2 weeks before Christmas is one of 2 most popular times for couples to break up? However, Christmas Day is the least favorite day for breakups.
That is so sad.
Yeah, it is a little sad.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's very depressing, especially on a great holiday like Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and now over to I've Been Found.
Hey guys, I'm Caitlin Vanderberry. I'm a senior at Ksac. I guess it started in middle school. I was bullied a lot. And I had really low self-esteem. I think that was that's always been my root problem, is I've never thought highly of myself. So after 8th grade, things got a little better, but freshman year, I moved to Ksac and I played volleyball. And so the first people I met were a bunch of the volleyball girls in my grade. And I became really good friends with all of them. And I stayed really good friends with all of them until about halfway through sophomore year. In January, my parents got really close to getting a divorce, and they had always kind of had problems, but so since I was little, I'd prayed that they would get a divorce, just because I hated seeing them argue and fight. And so when it got down to it, when it was about to happen, I was so scared that my whole life would change. And so I was God, I take everything back. I wish this had never happened. And God works in his own timing. So of course nothing happened right away. And it actually to me, I'm so impatient. That's my worst thing. I'm so impatient. And so I thought they were done, and my whole life, everything was going to change. And so I got into smoking a lot, just because I didn't want to think about anything, and that's what I did. I got really into smoking. One thing led to another, gradually, and then by the end of sophomore year, I was drinking a lot, and I didn't care. I was just I had no cares in the world for anybody else except for myself, and my whole group of friends changed, and I started dressing differently, acting differently, hanging out with different people, and nobody noticed. My parents didn't notice. Nobody really cared. That's what I thought. And so I felt like nobody cared, nobody loved me. I felt like God had completely abandoned me in all the situations I had been through. And so I sought out love in all the wrong places and just wasn't being who I know God intended me to be. And so as time went on, I hadn't been caught yet, nothing really happened. It was pretty smooth sailing for me up until New Year's of last year, when a parent called my mom and my best friend, and they sat her down and had an intervention for me. And so it made me realize that even though I thought nobody cared, I thought I had been completely neglected, I wasn't only hurting myself, but I was hurting the ones that actually loved me and didn't leave me out hanging to dry, even though I didn't realize it. And so that was probably my turning point After that, I didn't, like, I made a conscious effort not to, like, behave the way I had been, and I'd been behaving like that for so long, it was, like, normal to me. So it was definitely a struggle at the beginning to turn my life around, and it's taken a good 1.5 years to get to where I am. And, like, now I know my self-worth, and I know I'm better than how I treated myself, and I don't need anything this world has to offer. And that was probably the biggest thing for me. My name is Caitlin Manderberry, and I've been found.